All right, so I needed a little pick-me-up today, and I was thinking, what kind of video is gonna happen? And I thought of telling you this story that has just stuck with me for years. This was a moment back in August 2013. This is when I worked in retail, and if you couldn't guess with your first three guesses where I worked at Spencer's, which is basically like this gag gift, absurd sex toy, weird place that's in the mall. So like anybody can just walk on in. And this is one of many stories that I could share. There was this customer who comes in, middle-aged woman, curly blonde hair, a faded little dolphin tattoo on her overly exposed chest that was already 1,000 words. Just what a story this woman was. And boy, did I just get the tiniest little sneak peek into her life. This woman looks at me and she says, "I need a little help back there." She said it in like a confident way, not that she was uneasy talking to me, just like a, hey, get ready for this whirlwind that I'm about to throw at you. So as the manager working there, I have to own it. You know, I have to be like, let's go. We are going on an adventure and I know all of the things. So we get back there and she's kind of taking her finger and she's dragging it all across all of these toys. She's like, no. And I'm asking her, I was like, so what are you looking for? Very scary question to ask when you're in the back section of that store. And she looks at me and she's like, there was this toy that I had and it doesn't work anymore. And I'm really hoping to replace it. This is what happens. Either they don't tell you exactly what they're looking for and you have to kind of pry it out of them, or they tell you way too much about just everything about their life. And she says, I've tried a lot of toys and, some of them say water resistant and some say waterproof. She's like, I need something waterproof because I have a hot tub. So here I am at the back of the store, and of course there's a sale on these things. So I mentioned, they're buy one, get one half off all the toys or the lube sets. I actually have to go in the back room and I get this really tall yellow ladder that like you have to bend it down or else it hits the top of the door and you have to push the door open at the same time. It's this ridiculous little like juggling trick to set up this ladder, and I'm taking down all of these different brands of vibrators. So I tell her, I was like, we have batteries, we can turn these things on, so you know what you're getting, right? But did I know what I was getting with this? Because what happens? We get this stack of vibrators, we go to the front counter, and I try to conceal them a little behind the counter so people don't see what is unfolding right before our eyes. I put the batteries in the first one, and you turn it on, and it's, it's on the counter, and it's rattling on the metal, and you just hear this like, and this is when I knew I was committed to that person until they were satisfied. She takes this vibrator, and it's an egg. It's an egg, and it has this little cord with this little bullet on the end of it, and she takes the little bullet, and she puts it on her arm while it's on. And this, I remember her reaction, it was like, no. We get the second one going. She holds it up, puts it on. No. We continue to go through all of these vibrators. There were two where she was like, okay, maybe, like she was having this mental dilemma right in front of me. She's gonna use these things and she's gonna have a great time. So finally, I figure out what she's talking about. I was like, we don't have any in the store. We're gonna look at the picture. We get this like little crappy pixelated thumbnail of all of the things. And I show her on the screen. She's like getting very close to me and looking at the screen. And she's like, that's the one. I was very, very happy at this point because then I was like, this is it. Like she can order it online. And now we did it. Now I get to pick gum off the ground with a screwdriver, right? Because that's what I was doing later that day, I'm sure. So she checks out, and she's got at least 4 vibrators, because they're bound to get one half off. She's ready to go. I got double bag it. But that was not the last time I saw this woman. So what happens? This is like a month later. She comes in, and she has this cardboard box. And I see it, and I see this person, I see that tattoo. I see that tattoo. And I have this moment, I'm like, what's in the box? But she sees me and she recognizes me. I was probably wearing the same colored tube socks, which is a dead giveaway. I open up the box and here they are. All of the same. It's a box full of vibrators. All the same exact one that I showed her in this little thumbnail. And she looks at me and she's like, these aren't the same model that the image was showing. And I told her, the only thing I could think of at the time, I was like, maybe there's a newer model or something. And she's like, these only have 4 speeds. This is it. This is the end of the story. I don't have an answer for this woman. And you know that she tried. And this was the moment that I knew I would never forget this experience. She comes really close to me because now we're like buddies, right? Like we already shared all of this information with each other. I know what she's going through. I know what's happening in her life. And she comes up to me and she gets really close. If she wasn't physically putting her hand on my shoulder, mentally, ooh, she was giving me a big old bear hug. This is what she says, just to me.
I need that 5th speed.
There are things that I thought about that I never thought I could think about. I'll see you next Tuesday.